Hey guys, this is Anime Alternates here, and this is What If Naruto Was an Uchiha Part 1, so I hope you guys enjoy the video, and without further ado, roll the intro. To say that Naruto's life, in all the 4 years he had lived, was hard, wouldn't be a complete lie. Though many of the villagers disliked him, they wouldn't dare show outright hostility towards him. Whenever he walked into stores, or walked around, they would look at him with contempt, when they thought he wasn't looking, of course. But the minute Naruto returned their stare, they would scatter like vermin. It could have been from how Naruto looked. His hair was a midnight black and spiky, a trait that around 50% of Uchiha shared. Then there were his eyes. They were two distinctly different colors. The left was a frigid-looking azure blue color, while the right was an inky black, as dark as night. Though the answer probably closest to the truth was Naruto's name. Naruto's full name was Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha, and he was damn proud of it. However, inside the Uchiha clan, Naruto wasn't treated special, and he was oh so thankful for it. He was just another person with Uchiha blood, another family member. Apparently, from what Fugaku-sama had told him, his father was an unknown Uchiha and his mother was from the Uzumaki clan. Though Naruto had the sneaking suspicion that Fugaku knew who Naruto's father was. Now normally as an orphan, Naruto would have been adopted by someone, but in the Uchiha clan, they were just one big family, albeit without the normal amount of emotion. So, Naruto was given a room in the fairly decent-sized house made for Uchiha kids who didn't have parents. The building was almost entirely empty though, as most Uchiha did have parents, or at least a guardian to look after them. Though Naruto didn't mind, he actually preferred solitude and the calming quietness of the place. He, like most Uchiha, was very reserved, almost on the level of Hyuga's. Though, this was why most Uchiha came across as snobbish. They just weren't good at expressing their emotions. Well, most of them at least. There was one that Naruto liked above all the rest, and consequently, was the same person that was the other occupant in the Uchiha building that housed orphans. "Hey Naruto," Shizui said, walking out of the house and into its backyard. The area behind the Uchiha orphanage couldn't really be called its backyard, as it was the same area that was sort of a park for all of the Uchiha, and it was almost smack in the center of the Uchiha clan compound. "What you doing?" "Trying to unlock my sharingan," Naruto said, fully serious, turning to look at Shizui. This matter was sort of a running joke between the two of them. It was only funny on Shizui's end, however. Most Uchiha members unlocked their sharingan around 14, well after they became genin. Of course, there were some exceptions, more aptly known as prodigies. Fugaku Uchiha, also known as Wicked Eyes Fugaku and the clan's current head, had unlocked his when he was 11, just 1 year before he graduated from the academy. Itachi Uchiha, even though he didn't have a moniker yet, he was still considered one of the strongest Uchihas. He unlocked his sharingan when he was 8 years old, a month before he entered the academy. But arguably, the most impressive was Shizui, also known as Shizui the Teleporter. His sharingan revealed itself when he was only 7 years old. So naturally, to him, the idea that Naruto could awaken his sharingan before him was laughable. At least, that was how it appeared to Naruto. "Sure thing, Naruto," Shizui said in a teasing tone. "I'm sure you'll unlock it soon. You're, 6 years old right now? Maybe in 6 more years." Shizui laughed at his own joke, and as he turned around, "Well, I'll be inside. I'm gonna go make dinner." The last part was said in a nicer tone, but Naruto didn't hear it. All he could hear were Shizui's laughs echoing inside of his head. While he might not have been the most vocal about his goal to unlock the sharingan before Shizui, a fair amount of Uchihas knew about it. The most any of them would do would be to give a small, patronizing smile. Naruto's fists balled up, and a glare settled on his face, as his mind was clouded by rage. His gaze hardened and swept downwards and landed on a smooth, generic-looking stone. Stooping low, he snatched it off the ground and hurled it to the right of Shizui, while he bolted to Shizui's left. Naruto knew Shizui was good, one of the best in fact, as he was already a Jonin and he was only 11 years old. But currently, his mind was clouded with rage. Naruto didn't even see Shizui so much as twitch before his world exploded in pain and he collapsed to the floor holding his stomach. The pain ripped through the haze clouding his mind, clearing it. And when Naruto's vision finally cleared, Shizui was standing above him, an exasperated expression painted over his face. "You're serious about unlocking your Sharingan?" Shizui asked, though he seemed weary. Naruto gave a sharp nod as best as he could through the pain. "I warn you," Shizui began. "The minute you awaken your Sharingan, life will get more difficult. You will be expected to conform to certain rules. I have no doubt that you will be able to unlock your Sharingan anytime before the academy, so why rush it? Just wait a little bit so you don't draw too much attention to yourself. If you beat my record of unlocking the Sharingan, the clan will expect you to perform better than ever. You'll be thrust into the spotlight, whether you like it or not." Naruto gave Shizui a determined nod. "Then I'll take the attention proudly. I'll carry the weight of everyone's attention on my shoulders." Shizui sighed. "Fine. Get inside and take a shower. I'll start showing you how tomorrow, though it won't be easy and will likely take a very long time." Naruto nodded and ran inside. "Please be safe, Naruto," Shizui thought. "The clan elders already want to use the Kyuubi against Konoha, whether you're willing or not. You unlocking your Sharingan could either pacify them or further motivate them to revolt against the leaf." Naruto was annoyed. Scratch that, enraged. It had been 1 year since he had started training seriously with Shizui to unlock his Sharingan. He trained for 4 hours a day with Shizui, then another 2 hours outside of that. He had also put himself in an array of different stressful situations to unlock his Sharingan. After his last attempt of trying to survive inside the Forest of Death, Shizui had put his foot down and said that if he tried to do anything like that again, Shizui would immediately stop training him. So after that, Naruto tried using his extra time to read as many scrolls from the Uchiha library as he could get his hands on. Keyword being tried. A painful fun fact that Naruto had learned that day was that every book in the Uchiha clan compound was written in a series of random squiggly lines that can only be decoded by the Sharingan. Shizui had laughed himself silly when he learned about Naruto's failed attempt to read books from the Uchiha clan compound. Or rather, the Uchiha clan library, as most books in the Uchiha clan compound came from the library. Shizui did, however, impart some useful information upon Naruto. A scroll he had written detailing how to use the body flicker. Naruto had poured all of his extra time into learning that jutsu. It had taken 8 days, but Naruto had managed to learn it. Now, he never traveled anywhere outside of his range of vision without using the body flicker. It was just too fun, but it also had an upside. The body flicker technique stemmed from enhancing the muscles for a second to speed the user up in any given direction, which meant that frequent use of the technique strengthened the muscles and increased the user's natural speed without the body flicker technique. Also, while using it, the user could only travel in a linear direction, and the surroundings somewhat blurred. The Sharingan's enhanced perception helped nullify the blurred surroundings problem. The Sharingan's enhanced perception helped nullify the blurring surroundings problem. As for only moving in a linear direction, the body flicker could be activated in mid-motion, allowing the user to change directions. At least that was how Shizui explained it on the scroll he gave Naruto. And who was Naruto to ignore the words of probably the person best known for the use of the body flicker technique? "Naruto," Shizui said, in the process of strapping on his tanto. He and Naruto were currently behind the Uchiha clan orphanage. "I'm going on a mission with Itachi. Hopefully, I'll be back tomorrow, okay? Keep working on unlocking your Sharingan. You only have about 6 months left, at least tie up with my record of 7, before you turn 8. Naruto nodded, then frowned, before he formed a single one-handed hand seal. He disappeared from where he was standing, no smoke or anything, and appeared right in front of Shizui. He practiced and practiced using the body flicker, but it was still nowhere near Shizui's level. Naruto tackled Shizui in a hug, making him waver slightly. "Be safe." Then, Naruto ran back inside the orphanage. Time skip, later that night. Naruto heard muffled cries in the Uchiha clan compound. Barely audible, but they're always cut off a split second later, like someone was intentionally cutting them off. It was quite unsettling. Naruto thought, I'm worrying too much. Probably just an Uchiha crying about because some relative didn't come home. Well, I'll see who it is tomorrow. Naruto then lay back down, but the cries were still ringing throughout the air. Sighing, Naruto slipped out of bed and changed into day clothes. He grabbed 2 kunai that were on his nightstand and slipped them into his sleeves of a jacket he pulled on. Darting out of the orphanage and into the street, in front of Naruto. Darting out of the orphanage into the street in front of it, Naruto knew something was wrong. Sprinting towards the center of the Uchiha clan compound, Naruto's mind raced with possibilities of what was happening. He was about to race around a corner, but something told him to slow down. He stopped and peered around the corner. Someone, covered in copious amounts of blood, was standing above a child who Naruto recognized as Sasuke, Fugaku-sama's youngest child. When Naruto first met Sasuke, he had been strong-willed and hot-tempered, causing the two to butt heads. But after a time of Naruto constantly getting the edge in their spars, as they called it, Sasuke had non-verbally accepted that Naruto was just better. Wait, Naruto thought before stumbling back. That's Itachi. But it appeared that Itachi had noticed him, and before Naruto could move, a punch met his stomach, throwing him up into the air. Naruto knew resistance was futile, but he wasn't about to let Itachi kill him so easily. The blood on Itachi was enough motivation for Naruto to kick into high gear. Managing to form a one-handed hand seal, Naruto disappeared and reappeared in front of Sasuke, picking him up. Naruto's mind was still racing. The blood on Itachi and the cries clearly meant that Itachi had been on a murdering spree. Sasuke was still somewhat coherent, mumbling something about betrayal and Itachi's name. About to take off again, Naruto noticed something. Itachi hadn't come after them, even though he was only about 15 feet away. Naruto, Itachi's grave voice called out, cutting through the still, cold night air like it was a knife through water. Shizui is dead. This caused Naruto to pause. Rage built up within him, but he forced it down. He was nowhere near competent enough to even draw a drop of Itachi's blood. No, the best thing to do right now would be to live to see the dawn. Then, he could figure out how to train so he could kill Itachi in the future. Well, maybe kill was too harsh of an adjective. He just wanted to know what Itachi had done, to know why Itachi did it. Naruto, Itachi called again. Someone tried to steal Shizui's eyes, but failed. He sent me to give you a message, that he loves you and hopes you forgive him. He also asked me to give you a second gift, his eyes, for something you will learn later. However, I do not believe you're competent enough. Fight me, and if you manage to impress me, you will receive his gift. Quickly weighing his options, Naruto sat Sasuke down, before sliding the kunai out of his sleeves, and rushing at Itachi. Naruto tried slicing and slashing at whatever he could, but Itachi kept dancing around the knives. Trying something that Naruto had seen Shizui do before, Naruto held one kunai in the direction of Itachi, while simultaneously performing the body flicker. The result was Naruto being thrown forward while in a stabbing motion. In hindsight, this probably wasn't the best move to do, as Naruto currently did not have the sharingan, so as he shot forward, he couldn't see anything. When he stopped moving, Naruto found that he'd hit nothing but air. Then a hand grasped the back of his jacket and threw him across the street and into a wooden fence. Your attempt to try and imitate Shizui was shameful, though that's not saying much, as Shizui was pretty weak himself, trying to get himself almost killed. The rage that had built up in Naruto grew to unbearable levels. Shut up, Naruto snarled. Don't say anything against Shizui. Then, Naruto's vision sharpened, it was as if everything went into focus. Naruto staggered to his feet and surged forward at speeds that he normally couldn't reach, not even realizing that he'd slipped into a hand-sealless body flicker. Now instead of being blurred, Naruto's surroundings were clear. Itachi seemed to be moving at a slower rate for a split second before he returned to normal and dodged. Shizui would be proud of you, Itachi said in a different tone. Softer and nicer somehow. Naruto paused. Please take care of Sasuke while I'm gone. You'll be the only person he trusts after this. Naruto nodded wordlessly as the anger at Itachi dissipated, after Naruto seemed to realize that Itachi was faking insulting Shizui. I apologize, but I still have to knock you out, Itachi said before saying, Oh, and congratulations on unlocking your sharingan. You're now tied with Shizui's record. Before Naruto could say anything, a crow appeared, but in place of its eyes were 2 sharingan. It flew at Naruto before flying into his mouth and down his throat. A genjutsu was Naruto's last thought before he blacked out, not realizing that was entirely real. As Naruto fell to the ground, Itachi sighed. He really didn't want to kill his entire clan, but he had to make sure Sasuke and the Leaf as a whole were safe. The things I do, Itachi thought, before he turned around and body flickered away. Anyway guys, thanks for listening, I'll see you guys next time.